Hello everyone, and welcome to Song for All's fourth and final gin cocktail happy hour during this month of June, my 30-day salute to gin. On this 26th day of June, and just in time for the upcoming Canada Day celebrations, I'll be making 4 gin cocktails based on the Canadian gin products that I tasted earlier this week, and they're all lined up here in front of me. We have Nova Scotia's first ever craft gin, Steinhardt, Muskoka Brewery's legendary Oddity Gin, Georgian Bay Gin, Cottage Country, Ontario, and the outstanding Valley of Mother of God, a newcomer and a game changer on the Canadian gin scene. If you missed any of my virtual tasting videos this week, and or any videos from my other weeks in June, don't despair. All of these are posted on my Song for All Facebook page, as well as on my Song for All YouTube channel. So be sure to check them out. For this live event, very thrilled to have you all join me, whether you're doing so live or if you're catching this on replay. It is my final June Gin Happy Hour. And most of you know I call it happy hour, but again, most of you that have seen this before, you know it's more like a happy 18 minutes. But that just doesn't sound right. So we're going to stick with Gin Happy Hour. Just before I start mixing, I'd like to remind everyone that you need to be of legal drinking age where you live in order to keep watching. So if you are not yet able to legally purchase and legally consume alcohol products where you live, then it's time to say goodbye. For everybody else, it's cocktail time! Okay, just a reminder, in the spirit of being live, I decided at the beginning of June, when I'm doing these Friday events, to not only make the drinks live, but also I'm going to taste them for the very first time. So I'm tasting along with you guys, and my reactions therefore are 100% authentic. So there you go. First recipe comes from Mr. Boston's Guide to Bartending and incorporates the Steinhardt Craft Gin from Nova Scotia. Fittingly, this is called the Salty Dog. So in a highball or tall glass, I'm going to add some ice cubes. Next, we're going to add 1.5 ounces of Steinhardt gin. If you want to go to 2 ounces, go for it. Remember, as I've said all month long, more gin is better than less gin. Then we're going to add 5 ounces of freshly squeezed grapefruit juice. Get that right in there. And lastly, well not lastly, second to last, it's a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Hence the name Salty Dog. Take a stir stick, stir that well, get everything incorporated. Garnish with a grapefruit wedge, and hopefully enjoy. Cheers. That works very well. Works very well. The salt, counteracts that bitterness of the grapefruit. Seemingly, it's not sweet, but it's certainly not salty. It's not sour. And then, the notes of the gin, the juniper and the citrus in the gin play very nicely. It's good. I like that. Okay. So, for my next gin cocktail, I'm using Georgian Bay gin. This one could not be easier to enjoy. You ready? You may have to sit down for this. So, here we go. First, very important, you have to go to your favorite LCBO location. Whether it's a big store, a small store, a pop-up store, go to an LCBO location. Next, you have to buy a can of Gin Smash. It's a pre-mixed cocktail. You go home, you crack it open, pour some ice in a glass, pour your Gin Smash right in there. Let that settle down. And then you enjoy responsibly. Very nice. So, cheeky? Yes. Cheating? Absolutely. But you know what? The folks at Georgian Bay Gin Company do such a fantastic job making this premixed cocktail that for me it's a no-brainer and one I wanted to showcase to you. Georgian Bay Gin, alongside with the natural citrus that's in here And the fresh citrus that goes into the gin smash just, makes for a really refreshing, delightful, ready-to-enjoy cocktail. They even throw a little mint in here, and to be honest, it's one of the least sugary premix cocktails that I see out there. And I think my friend Diane has joined. So, hello Diane, and thank you for joining. It must be a Friday in the month of June. Great to have you along. Okay, one more sip. There you go. So, like I said, cheating, yes, but if you have not tried this, it is very refreshing. Now, if you're not a citrus lover, I will add this caveat. If if citrus and those bright citrus flavors like lemon and orange and lime, if that's not your bag, then the gin itself with a tonic, may work for you. But because there is a double dose of citrus in the smash, maybe it's not for you. But give it a whirl. Okay, third cocktail. It's a true homage to things Canadian. We're making a gin Caesar utilizing legendary Oddity from Muskoka Brewery, Muskoka Spirits. Now you may recall in my virtual tasting on this Ontario gin here is indeed a bit odd, as it uses hops in the recipe. Now, I've heard of the beer Caesar. I actually haven't had one of those, but I've heard of beer Caesars being very popular, being a truly Canuck thing. So because there's hops in here, I'm going to bet that this is going to work wonderfully in a gin Caesar. Now, a little bit of a side note. I did like Caesars before, but I had that spirit that starts with a B. I'm not going to mention it in the month of June. That was what I was putting in my Caesars. But 11 years ago, my wife introduced me to the gin Caesar. And, I haven't looked back since. I find using gin in a Caesar, no matter which gin you're using, but I find it's more flavorful, it's more plush on the palate, it has a bit more body, a lot more so than that spirit with the V. Okay, so first we're going to take a big glass, we're going to take a lemon wedge, we're going to rim the lemon around the glass, we're going to go into a seasoning salt. I'm using Matt and Steve's. Whatever you want, you can make your own. All depends on how much you like it. Some folks don't even like it at all. Cover that, get that over here. Next, we're going to add some ice. There we go. Now, fun stuff. 2 full ounces of legendary Oddity gin. Right in there, we want to get every drop. There you go. 4 ounces of Clamato. So whatever your favorite Clamato is, I tend to like Mott's, and I like the extra spicy. So I'm going to pour in 4 ounces of Mott's extra spicy. But again, if you like Walters,
what is Clamato juice? If
you like anything else. And my executive producer is asking me to explain what Clamato juice is. It's essentially clam juice and tomato juice that are together. So if you're using tomato juice instead, then you're making a Bloody Mary, not a Caesar. But I know all the fine folks watching. You're a seasoned audience. You know the drill. Okay, so I've added my Caesar, I've added my gin, I've rimmed my glass with lemon, I've done my spices, and now it's the fun part. So even though this is extra spicy, I like to add 2 ounces, 2 dashes, 2 ounces, I'll have to go to the hospital. 2 dashes of hot sauce, whatever your favorite brand is. And then I'm letting you in on a little secret. So I discovered this years ago. We take out the worst, or as famed chef Guy Fieri would say, wash your sister sauce. So I like to put about 10 dashes in here. And I know that might sound a little crazy, but I find it really, really bolsters the Caesar. It adds flavor, it adds almost texture to it in a good way. And to me, when you add that much, it helps avoid those watery Caesars that you sometimes get. So if you're making them at home, or if you're at well, right now it's kind of challenging to do so, we probably can't, but if you're ever in a pub again or a bar and they have a make your own Caesar station, I would add in more worse than you normally would and see if you like it. Okay, so all that's there. Take a little squeeze of lemon. We give that a nice squeeze. We get that in there. Take our stir stick. Give that a good mixy mix. Take a fresh piece of lemon, pop that in there. To be honest, I'm going to add just a touch more ice. 1 more stir. And moment of truth, folks. Cheers. think I found my new gin for Gin Caesars. Works very well. So again, in the video when I talked about this, the hops that are in here, I mean, there's juniper and there's a traditional gin botanicals, but adding the hops and there's header tips in there, I got when I was tasting the gin on its own, just this flash of beer on the palate, and it works extremely well with the Caesar. So there you go, Gin Caesar, legendary oddity gin. Okay, so now for those of you that caught my virtual tasting video that I posted yesterday, you already know that I've added a brand new gin to my list of favorites. Ontario newcomer, Valley of the Mother of God. Folks, seriously, it's an outstanding product. Truly a super premium Canadian gin. You really need to check out my video review on it that I posted yesterday. In my opinion, this is going to be a game changer on the Canadian gin scene. Okay, so with this divine product today, just got to step around the Labrador. Hi, puppy. So with this super premium product today, we're going to take a page right out of their Facebook account, and we're going to make what's called the Ruby of the Valley. So again, if you go to Facebook and you look for Valley of Mother of God, you'll see this recipe there. So a little more involved. First, we need to make two things. Anise syrup, which I've already done, and then you need to infuse a quarter cup of cranberries, either frozen or fresh, with 2 ounces of the gin. So I've already done that in advance, and you can do that well in advance as well. To make the syrup, it's simple syrup with anise. So you take 3 tablespoons of star anise pods, you put it in a saucepan, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar, you bring that to a boil, you let it cool, strain it out, you're good to go. For the infusion, again, you take a quarter cup of cranberries, 2 ounces of Valley of Mother of God gin, let it sit for at least 30 minutes and you're all set. So, when you have all that done, you're ready to make the cocktail, we take a cocktail shaker, right? Now we're going to add some ice. We're going to add our cranberry infusion mix right in there. Hi guys, it's just me. It's okay, boys. That's how you know it's live, folks. And we're going to muddle. Muddle and mash, it's a little loud. I mean, you don't want to make cranberry jam in here, but you do want to work them all up and get that cranberry goodness going. I know. The dogs just want to be stars. They know it's my last live event. Okay. So I think that's sufficiently mushed. Then next, I'm going to then take 2 ounces of the Valley of Mother God gin. Add that right in there. I'm going to follow that with 1 ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice, 1 ounce of freshly squeezed orange juice, and 1 ounce of that star anise simple syrup that we made in advance. Get that all in there. Move all that stuff out of the way. Take the muddler away. And put the top on. My shaker is not that great, so I'm going to wrap it, and then you shake vigorously. And we shake, and we shake, and we shake. The exciting part of live cocktail videos, folks. Alright. We've got that well shaken. And over there, take a highball glass or a short glass, whichever you prefer. I'm going to throw some ice in here. We're going to strain this all out. Beautiful, nice, light, ruby color. Get it all out. Perfect. Going to add, I like to add a little bit of cranberry in there and a lime wedge, or not a lime wedge, an orange wedge. Looks very nice, looks very fruity. I'm going to pop the orange in, and here we go. Ruby of the Valley, live for you folks. That works. Boy, does it work. Very nice. Very, very nice. Summer cocktail. You're all set with this one. Okay, so 4 cocktails But I'm going to be honest, I kind of cheated with the gin smash. So let's do one more. We're going to do one more with Valley of Mother of God. We're going to do a classic martini. Now, an interesting fact for you guys. I know it's not Monday, it's not Fun Fact Monday, but interesting fact on the martinis. My executive producer brought this to my attention that the word martini defaults to gin. So, you know, martini is really, it's only made with 4 things. It's made with gin, vermouth, ice, and a garnish. That's a martini. That spirit with the V, you know, it may be tasty, people may like it, but there is no such thing as a true martini made with vodka. So there you go. So I'm not going to do any ice just yet. We're going to take a tall glass. Free advertising for Guinness. I like to use whatever I have. So I'll take a tall glass. I'm going to put some ice in here. And this is just a glass for mixing. So whatever you got. Just want to cool things down. Put that in there. Then we're going to take 4 ounces of that delicious Mother of God, Valley of Mother of God, Canadian nectar of the heavens. Then we're going to take 1 ounce of dry vermouth. Right in there. Over. And we're going to take a stir stick, and we're going to stir for a bit. Now, they say to avoid touching the side of the glass. Don't really know why, quite honest. Probably gauche to touch the side of the glass. So, you know, stir that for, I don't know, good 15, 20, 30 seconds. Everything just going all together. Chill down, and there we go. So, the fun part is to take whatever type of martini glass that you have at home and strain that in there. Nice and easy. Trying to not get it all over the counter. Yeah, it didn't work out to be too bad. Perfect. It's a little messy, but that's live TV and that's life. Alright, so we take a lemon rind. A lemon rind. I'm going to wipe that all around the glass. Just wipe it all around. I'm going to give it a little twist. Yeah. There we go, a little twist. You pop that in. There you have it. Classic martini with Valley of Mother of God gin. Cheers. Delicious. Delicious. It's a lot of booze though, folks, so, you know, enjoy responsibly. I think you got 5 ounces of booze in there, but, boy, it all works. Okay. So there you have it. 5 easy, pretty easy, 5 easy gin cocktails to get you all set for Canada Day celebrations starting next week. They're all utilizing delicious Canadian gin. Canadian gin, folks. So, question time. Got 4 questions here for you. Do this relatively quickly. We're already at 4:20. Question number 1. Are you paid for your reviews? Easy answer. No, I am not. There is no compensation throughout the month of June in any shape or form. I do get a little excited when I come across something that is above the norm. You know, there is a lot of mediocrity out there, in my opinion, across the world of spirits, not just with gin. So when I see something that really stands out and pushes the envelope, I get a little excited. But I am not paid. I am not a paid spokesman. Gi-Une is not an advertisement for any product in particular. So there you go. Question number 2. Have I discovered any really bad or really great gins during June? You know, it's all subjective, to be quite honest. I found some to be, you know, at a higher level than others. Without getting into names, watch the videos. You could probably discern from yourselves the ones that I think have more attention to them. But, you know, I haven't had any bad gins, and to be quite honest, if I came across a product that I did not think was a good expression of gin, I just wouldn't include it. You know, that's it. Be quite honest. Question number 3. Why haven't I used any soft drinks in gin cocktails? I find that soft drinks are too sugary, and that really overpowers, that sweetness level really overpowers the gin. So, look, it's subjective. If you like to put ginger ale in your gin, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, but I will say that you're really not tasting the gin, and why are you having gin with your ginger ale? It's all subjective, but for me, I find it just all those sugary drinks, just you don't taste the gin at all. And if I'm gonna have a ginger ale or if I'm gonna have a cola, I'll just have those. Question number 4: will you continue to post about gin after Gi-Une is over? Absolutely. Now, not within the same framework, and it won't be 20 days or 15 days, but absolutely, I'm going to keep this going. So, you're going to want to be sure to keep following along as I come across other interesting things, as I come across recipes. I'm going to be talking about gin, and I'm going to start planning for June 2021. So, stay tuned, folks. Okay, thank you for the questions. And essentially, that's a wrap. It's a wrap for today, and it's my last live Gin Cocktail Happy Hour. I do hope you've enjoyed tuning in over the last 4 weeks. It's been fun for me. I've discovered some great cocktails. I really hope you have too. Well, this is my last live event. June is not yet over. June itself, remember, there's 30 days to June. So keep following and liking Song for All on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Tomorrow, Saturday, I'll have some final food pairing ideas for you. On Monday, I'll have some more fun gin facts. And then there'll be a final video post on Tuesday, the 30th day of June, to try and wrap everything and bring it all together. So, there you go. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your gin, your wonderful Canadian gin on Canada Day, responsibly.